Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Ludwig, and welcome to the VETtalks. This is a podcast from the University of Aldeeds, and in this series of podcasts, we are going to look at issues concerning students' life. We're going to look at One Health, and we are going to look at a whole various topics relating to veterinary medicine. Now, as we are about to celebrate the World Veterinary Day 2026, this is a special episode because this is our inaugural episode of the VETtalks podcast as we celebrate the World Veterinary Day 2026. Now, I have here with me three lovely experts, or we say professionals, in the field of veterinary medicine. Though one is still a student, I'd like to introduce them. From my right, we have Kira, who is a first-year student of veterinary medicine. Say hi.
Hello.
And then we have our faculty on the board here, Dr. Amara, and then our partner from the industry, Dr. Mustafa.
Hi, everyone.
So let's begin. What does veterinary medicine mean to you, Kira?
To me, veterinary medicine means to protect animals within the clinic, but also outside the clinic, so within humans and public health in general.
Okay. And Dr. Amara, from academic point of view, how would you consider the meaning of veterinary medicine to you?
So, veterinary medicine for me is where science meets responsibility. So, if we see the clinical side of it, which I have worked for 15 years, so there it's a problem-solving, puzzle-solving thing where an animal who cannot speak comes to you hurt, and then you have to treat him. And it's just like a puzzle. But on the academic side, it's more of a responsibility where you're shaping a new generation to be ethical vets.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amara. In most cases, when we think of veterinary medicine, our mind usually goes to the clinical practice treating only sick animals. But in veterinary medicine goes way beyond that. As I come to Dr. Mustafa, who is our expert in the field, we are in the classroom. We may know a lot, but not so much. So, Dr. Mustafa, thank you very much for being on this inaugural podcast. To you, in the field as an expert, say experts in the field, let me just simplify it that way. What does veterinary medicine mean to you?
Thank you so much for the question. But before answering the question, I would like to come to your comment.
Yeah.
Actually, you are the origin of everything.
Yes.
You are the root of everything. For us, veterinary medicine is very important for life. It's not only a profession, it's something beyond this. Veterinary medicine is an intersection between human health, animal health, and food security. So we as veterinarians are playing a very crucial role at many levels in our society life. In human health, in animal health, as well as in food security for the people in the planet.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And this is a question for everyone. Which parts of veterinary medicine do you think people usually overlook? People don't pay so much attention to. If I'm to answer that question, I would say the food aspect. Because I think not everyone have pets, but everyone eats chicken. At least most people do. And if we downplay the importance of veterinarians, then we don't have healthy chickens to eat. How about you, Kara? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm the same as you. I think food is very overlooked within the veterinary field.
I think the study of diseases during Corona, for example, the epidemiological studies, veterinarians played a crucial and a huge role in that, but nobody knows about it. So epidemiology, I'll say.
Yeah, I was about coming to that concept of the veterinary medicine aspect, which is least visible but very important. And I'm glad you talked about it. People don't really see veterinarians who work in the lab. They are very quiet people. Some may even think they are antisocial, but they are doing a really, really great job in disease diagnostic and even disease prevention, because then if research is done and then we see how the pathogenesis of certain pathogens work, then we know how best to prevent them. So I'm really happy you mentioned that. How about you, Dr. Mustafa?
Actually, I thought about this question the first time I realized that I'm going to veterinary medicine school. So my very beginning at this time, I was living in a village. So veterinarian means to me the doctor who is treating the cows and animals at the farm level. That's it. But once I start to search more and more about what we are doing actually as a veterinarian in life, I was surprised because almost we are everywhere.
Yeah.
Research, scientists, laboratories, boarders, educators. So veterinarians are everywhere.
Yes.
And that was surprising for me actually, and interesting as well.
Yes, it's really interesting because back in school, I had a professor who used to tell us that you can't be broke as a veterinarian. It can never happen because there are so many avenues in this world that you fit in. If you decide you don't want to see animals, there's a perfect place for you. If you want to teach, there's a perfect place for you. If wherever you'd want to do, so far as it has to do with life, as a veterinarian, you have a place in this world. So it's one of those jobs that I would say will never get obsolete. I don't think, as people say, AI is going to snatch our jobs. I don't think veterinarians are part, except we allow them to, but I don't think we will do that, do we?
No.
Okay, so now when we think of the word veterinarian, what is the public perception? Because yes, we believe in the word veterinarians. We know what veterinary means to us, but let's look at the public. For someone who doesn't know, let me take myself as an example. In my background, where I come from, the word veterinarian is most likely non-existent because they don't know what it means. All they know is, okay, there is one person who once a year comes around and injects chicken. That's all they know. That's their definition of veterinary medicine. And growing up and going to vet school, I had people make funny remarks at the kind of profession I have chose to pull myself through. Some used to call me lizard doctor, mosquito doctor, and well, it's a way of making jest at me. But in the end, I feel like I am a better person by sticking to this veterinary medicine. I haven't made a mistake, at least not yet. I believe it won't ever be. What do you think, Kira? What is the public perception?
I think for veterinarian, the public I can't say that
Perception.
word. Perception, sorry, is completely overlooked. I think vets are the backbone of animals because animals don't have the voice to voice their opinions. Vets are their guide.
Yeah.
I think it's such an important role, veterinary.
And Dr. Mara, with over a decade in the profession, what do you think?
I think the public perception is mostly they think veterinary, as I have worked here, I'll talk about Dubai, UAE.
Yeah.
They think it's mostly about fluffy kittens, cute puppies. Obviously, that's a perk, but they don't know about the antimicrobial stewardship. They don't know about disease surveillance. They don't know about the one that's, the chicken they are eating, a vet signed off for that. They don't know that. That vet was one of us. So mostly their perception is about pets here. They think a vet is just to treat a pet, not the huge, like now I'm teaching them and I give them examples of a whole lot of species. So they don't know how vast it is. So,
Okay. And then finally, our experts on the outside.
That's actually veterinarians, as Kara said, overlooked totally. And I would like to say, behind every safe meal, there is a veterinarian work.
Yes.
That's very important to tell to our audience. Behind every pets, there is a veterinarian experience. Behind every, even economical impact, the highest economical impact. When you look at nations all over the world, when they are facing an ambiguous situation or any issue, the first thing they thought about is the food security of the people.
Yeah.
And here our rules come and very crucial as well. So yes, we overlooked, we always behind the scene, but I think during the last decades, people start to learn more and more about the veterinarian's importance, especially like as an example, COVID situation, Corona. Now people start to realize, oh, it's animal origin. We need to think about what exactly veterinarians are doing, epidemiological people, what is exactly their role. So yes, we were overlooked before, but now we became more and more in front line and people realize more and more about our role in the society and in the different levels.
Yeah. I'm really happy you mentioned the economical aspect because right from school days, I remember the saying I had from a professor that said, no country's agricultural sector would stand without animal production. You can plant all the crops in this world, Without the animal component, your agriculture is meaningless. So veterinarians known to be food veterinarians play a key role in this agriculture. And back in West Africa, we've seen issues like the avian influenza devastating farms. Recently, we've seen virus and bacterial pathogens destroying fisheries in West Africa, and veterinarians are in the front line working together with agriculture and the environmental scientists. So that brings us to the One Health concept that we keep saying, and I believe some of our listeners have heard of One Health concept and they don't really understand. So before we move to the next segment, let's just chip in. Kira, fresh student, I don't really think you have all the top answers, but the most basic, what would you think? What does One Health mean to you?
So for a very basic answer, I would say that humans, animals, and the environment are connected. That would be my definition for One Health as of now.
Yes. That is the most basic.
Yes.
Definitely. And in fact, that summarizes every conversation. Yes. The interrelation between these two components, human medicine or human health, animal health, and environmental health. Okay. And Dr. Mustafa, anything to chip in on One Health concept?
That's a very important topic, especially it's under focus since many years now, and a lot of studies and research to highlight how important is it. I will give you a few examples. The first one is related to the environment and the intersection with the animal. What I can tell you is about the greenhouse gases. If you look at the global animal production and protein production and the share in the greenhouse gases, it's very huge. And actually we as a veterinarian, our role is to look at this part and how it could impact the environment. It's very important for us to know that our role, even to reduce the disease level. I will give you an example. Very interesting study estimate that 10% reduce in disease of the global animal will reflect on decrease of greenhouse gases. How much do you think?
Maybe by half or by
quarter?
quarter?
The total production of the greenhouse gases of Europe.
Wow.
Only 10% decrease of the disease, and that's only about the veterinarian rule. So our role is very crucial, and the intersection, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, that between the human health and the environment and the animal health is very important, and we are in the middle in this.
Okay.
Yeah, just to put it like for a common man, I can say that it's like a three-legged stool. One leg is human health, animal health, and then environment. If you tip one of them, everything will fall. Yeah. So it's the basic concept of One Health.
That's quite a lovely explanation I've had here. Now, before we move to the next segment, how do we change the perception of veterinary medicine to the public? We know veterinary medicine, at least our camera crew know veterinary medicine, but how about the people who do not know? How about those in high schools who would want to be veterinarians one day, but they don't know it yet? How do we change that? How about the farmers in rural communities? How about the people back home in West Africa who may be watching me, your son? And how would we propagate the message of veterinary medicine, the vet concept?
I think by doing things like we are doing with the podcasts and with going maybe to communities and talking more about us, not as just animal doctors, but us about how we save the food chain, how we are saving the world by saving the food chain.
Yeah.
So I think showing that concept to the general public is very, very important.
Okay.
As far as students are concerned, one of the concepts that we can usually incorporate in them is, for example, if we gift a pet to a student, to a kid,
Yeah.
So rather than giving him a mobile phone, you give him emotional stability, you give him emotions. So starting from that emotional connect to an animal, it will be incorporated to him. Okay, now I have an animal, how I save this, how this animal is impacting me, how the pet is impacting me. Okay, I have to be up to date on its vaccinations, I have to give him the proper food, otherwise it's also affecting me. So giving a concept of emotional stability, given a concept of zoonosis, where
Yeah.
a disease can go from there to us. So it just starts at the grassroots level.
Yeah, I pretty much like the emotional aspect of it because it builds character.
Yeah.
Because we are looking at the future where our future generation will have the empathy needed towards animals. Countless times we have seen footages and videos online where people sadly treat animals in inappropriate manner. And I believe if we are able to start this how is the word inception of these empathetic ideas at a younger age, then when they get to the age where they are in control, when they have the choice to make how or not to treat an animal, they will make the right choice.
Okay, so yeah, I think it needs to be more advertised, veterinary medicine. And especially from a student's point of view, I think a lot of people have the understanding that veterinary medicine is extremely hard. But I think from my view, if you have the passion for animals, then you can do veterinary medicine.
Yes, you can do that. Thank you very much, Kara. From a student's point of view, so many ideas run through their mind, especially how they're going to survive the program. And I think that's a whole conversation for another episode.
Yes.
If we start it now, we will not be able to finish this episode yet. But I really appreciate the fact that it's really important to note students and prospective students who might be interested in pursuing the future or career in veterinary medicine. Yes, you need the A's, but for you to be able to survive, you need a passion.
Yeah.
To make you through. The A's alone, yes, it will give you the entry, but the passion gets you to stay. Okay. All right. Now, in the second episode, we wanted to talk about One Health, but we ended up starting the One Health. So once again, back to the student. Before vet school, did you have any idea of One Health?
No, not before vet school. I didn't even know One Health was a thing.
Okay. So now that you know what One Health is, how has that changed your life in the past 7 months you've been here? How has that impacted your understanding, or let's say appreciation?
Yeah. I think it's made me appreciate a lot more, like especially when you go to the supermarkets and you see like the different types of meat. I now see how much work goes into that meat getting into the supermarket. The same with the environment, you know, when you see rubbish now, you're like, oh, we need to pick that up, put it in the bin, because it doesn't just affect us, it affects animals
Affects the
as well.
animal health. Yes. How about you, Dr. Amara? One Health. As the academic here, or as a faculty here, I'm sure you have a very detailed concept for us.
For One Health, it's a topic I can, talk for an hour over that. But as I said, that One Health is very important and the most important concept of the veterinary medicine. Because humans and animals are always related. Most of the people know the relation between humans and animals. If the animal is dirty, okay, the human can be affected. But the environmental part, most of the people miss that. So if there is a problem in the environment, it can affect the animal and it can affect the human. As some of the studies suggest, 60% of the human diseases come from animals. And most of the diseases from animals come from the environment. So we need to protect all three of them in order to have balance in life. Like right now, where the world is going, we have to go more sustainable. We have to think of more sustainable ways. We have to think of antimicrobial stewardship. We have to think of disease surveillances. So we have to take all of these together and move forward. We can't just think about, okay, I'm a vet, I'll only think about animal. No, I have to think about the human, I have to think about the environment as well. That only will give me a perfect way forward.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Thank you very much. One thing I took from your submission was the impact veterinarians play in the whole One Health concept, what veterinarians are doing, because we are looking at the environmental health, the human health, and then the animal health. And then in my interest, as when I was a student, was how people feel, the psychological and emotional health. Back home, where we have families having their sole dependent on the few sheep or goats they have, that is a source of livelihood. So imagine, as a veterinarian, if you don't understand the concept of One Health properly, you are going to cause a significant loss, not just socioeconomic, but more of a psychosocial effect. We just administer medications. Some vets administer medications, and they understand the pathophysiology behind whatever they do, but they do not take into consideration One Health. So I think it's really important. This concept has come up, and I still think a lot of vets that are in training, they've heard of it, but they are not necessarily practicing it, because it feels quite isolating if you are practicing. But then we in academia can speak a lot about it, but the actual thing is done by those vets who are directly in contact with the animal. So for vets who are listening to this podcast, it's important I know you know a lot about One Health, but please, let's just not be verbal about it. Let's be practical about One Health. It's really important. Dr. Mustafa, anything to add up on that? Advice to the junior vets there?
You have a lot of things. You have said it all, but to conclude it, it's all about communication. First of all, we need to value what we are doing actually at different levels again, and then to communicate and to say it to the community, to say it to the people on the ground, and to speak to the people with the language that they understand. That's very important. I will give you an example. Do you know how much water that needed to produce 1 liter of milk? Any ideas?
Well,
1,000 liters. 1,000 liters of water needed for 1 liter of milk. Okay,
goodness.
Let's go a little bit up.
Okay.
How much water that needed to produce 1 kilogram of chicken meat?
Maybe a lot.
Any idea?
A lot of people.
A lot, maybe.
4,200.
Wow.
Okay, let's go a little bit up. How much water needed for production of 1 kilogram of beef?
Maybe 1 ton, 1,000 liters, 10,000.
14,000 liters of water. This is what we are dealing with. This is what we need to protect. So to reduce the disease, to fight the disease, you are saving a lot for the people. You are saving a lot for the planet. You are saving a lot for the country. This is the language that we need to speak about what we are doing in field to communicate the value of the veterinarians to the community and to the people.
Okay. All right. So as we come to the final segment or the final part of our conversation, this weekend we are celebrating the World Veterinary Day 2026, and our theme is Veterinarians, Guidance for Food and Health, right? Did I get it right? Yes, Guidance for Food and Health. I'll start with the academic. Dr. Mara, is that theme reflecting the true nature of veterinary medicine?
I think this is a perfect and a wholesome phrase that is talking about all of it. I have not heard of a complete phrase than this. They are the guardians. Us veterinarians are the guardians of food and health. They, people may not notice us while we are there, but if we are not there, they will start noticing us very soon.
Well, okay, they'll start noticing us very soon. How are you, Dr. Mustafa?
100% agree that it's a true reflection of what exactly we are doing in the field.
Food and health.
Food and health. We are the guardians for both of them.
Okay. Dr. Mara, do you think we are excluding our pets in this theme?
No, we are not. Health is the one where the pets come, because pets are quite a source of zoonotic diseases. And if we talk about health, it comes to the zoonotic disease, and then we come to the pets. So, yeah.
All right. And Kira, how is the theme reflecting your journey so far in vet school?
I think it's different to know that it's about food, like safety, food and safety. But it's good for us to learn from now about food and safety. It's not just all about animals. It's also food.
Yeah, so personally, like Dr. Amara said, I agree perfectly. I've never seen a perfect statement as that food and health. I think it should be something permanent. Maybe next year, next 2 years, we should. Because in the end, it boils down to two things: food and health.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before in this conversation, the agriculture and economic significance of having a healthy veterinary sector in every country or every jurisdiction is really important. Because imagine the number of birds. I'm sure you are aware of the flu that happens in West Africa. Is crazy. It's something else. Yeah, some farms lose up to 30,000 birds, and that is someone's entire livelihood. Someone's property to be passed on to generations is wiped out in 48 hours. And that could have been prevented properly by the work of veterinary medicine. So I perfectly agree with the theme. Anything to add on that before we wrap up?
I think from now on, we should be calling ourselves guardians rather than just veterinarians. We are the guardians.
We are the guardians.
Yeah.
Guardians of food and health. Kira, what do you think? As a vet student, I know it hasn't been a smooth ride for you since you started this journey, but I believe you must have appreciated the weight the three of us have been carrying. Okay, I have been a vet much younger, or let's say much lesser than the two of
So
my
you
seniors.
mean I'm older than you?
No, but you have carried this weight far longer than I have. And you are preparing your shoulders to carry on this weight.
Yes.
In the past few months in vet school, do you feel prepared enough? Or do you feel
I hope so. I hope so. I really do hope so.
Okay, so how would you celebrate this veterinary day? For yourself, for your family, for your friends? What impact do you think the past few months in vet school would be able to enable you to make in their lives?
By giving the right sort of information, by making it more aware to people. Yeah.
How about you, Dr. Amara?
That my role is not just my role as an academician, is not just in a classroom. I am teaching to a broader audience, to a broader sector through my students. And that's something I'm really proud of them.
Yes. And Dr. Mustafa, my final question: why should the society appreciate what veterinarians do for food and health? Basically, that sums up our discussion throughout here. Why should they?
For all the reasons that we have mentioned, I would like to shorten it in a very simple word: from farm to fork.
Yeah.
That's what we are doing. From farm to fork. Behind every safe meal, there is a lot of efforts being done at many levels, at many steps from the veterinarians to make sure that what the people are receiving, what the people are eating, what the people are dealing with is very safe and, of course, very secured as well.
Yeah. I believe in the public trust, that they should have trust in the fact that we are doing our jobs well, so they have the best quality and the safest animal products to consume. Okay, all right, so that brings us to the end of our first and inaugural episode of VETtalks. Now, this VETtalks is a podcast that we're going to have several episodes in the course of time. We'll have several guests, and then we are going to have interesting conversations that are going to cover various topics coming from public health, coming from food safety, pet health care, in fact, students' lifestyle, and then the human health as well. Thank you very much for listening, and our guests, thank you very much, our first year student, Kira, our academic, Dr. Amara, and our industry partner, Dr. Mustafa.
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Ludwig, and this has been VETtalks. Thank you very much.